Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I want to explain about purifying protein by column chromatography. The first part in purifying protein by column chromatography is pellet the cells. First, spin the EC tube in the microcentrifuge for 10 minutes to separate cells from the growth medium. Next, remove the EC tube. Open the EC1 tube and open the waste collection jar. Set your tube over the waste collection jar to dump out the supernatant without disturbing the cell pellet at the bottom. The next part is pellet additional cells. Set the P1000 to 1000 microliters. Next, attach a tip. Open the EC2 tube. To increase the amount of red fluorescent protein, we add more cells from the second tube. And then, draw up 1000 microliters of liquid culture. And then, dispense the culture into the EC1 tube. Open the biohazard waste container. And then, eject the tip into the biohazard waste container. Spin the EC1 tube for 10 minutes. Next, remove the EC tube. And then, open the EC1 tube. Open the open the waste collection jar and tilt your tube over the waste collection jar to dump out the supernatant without disturbing the cell pellet at the bottom. Action is resuspend the cell pellet in EB. Set the P200 to 150 microliters. And then attach a tip. Open the EB tube. And then draw up 150 microliters of elution buffer. And then dispense the culture into the EC1 tube. Next, eject the tip into the biohazard waste container. Part. Slice the cells. Vortex the EC1 tube for 10 seconds to resuspend the cell pellet, and then attach a tip to the P200. Open the LYB tube and draw up 150 microliters of lysis buffer. And then dispense the lysis buffer into the EC1 tube. Open the biohazard waste container and eject the tip into the biohazard waste container. Next, centrifuge the tube. Remove the EC tube from microcentrifuge. And then set the timer for 12 hours to incubate EC1 tube overnight at room temperature. The next part is equilibrate the column. Place the waste collection jar under the valve of the chromatography column. And then open the column to drain away the liquid. Next, spin down the EC1 tube for 10 minutes and then remove the tubes from the microcentrifuge. Remove the EC tube. And then set the P200 micropipette to 200 microliters. And then attach a tip. Open the EC1 tube and draw up 200 microliters of supernatant. And then open the super tube and dispense the supernatant into the super tube. Open the biohazard waste container and eject the tip into the biohazard waste container. Next section is equilibrate the soluble fraction in BB. Attach a new tip and then open the BB tube, which is binding buffer, and throw up 200 microliters of the binding buffer. Dispense the BB into the super tube and then open the biohazard waste container. Eject the tip into the biohazard waste container. Is apply the soluble fraction to the column. Pick up the P100 Pick up the P1000 micropipette. Open the tip box. Attach a P1000 tip and then throw up 400 microliters of the super solution. And then throw up 400 microliters of the super solution. And then dispense the red super solution into the chromatography column. Open the biohazard waste container and eject the tip into the biohazard waste container. Place the waste collection jar back under the valve. And then open the column and allow the liquid to drain into the waste container. Close the valve when the liquid is just above the resin pad. Next session is wash the column. Set the P1000 micropipette to 1000 microliters and attach a new tip. And then dispense 1000 microliters of the WB solution into the chromatography column. And then open the biohazard waste container and eject the tip into the biohazard waste container. Open the column and allow the liquid to drain into the waste container. Close the valve when the liquid is just above the resin pad. The last part is elute and collect the RFP protein. Using a new tip, draw up 1000 microliters of the EV solution. Dispense gently down the side of the column. Repeat this step. Next, open the column by turning the valve. Watch the red protein traveling through the column. When it nears the bottom, close the valve. Next, place the open RFP tube under the valve. Open the column to capture the RF. Next, close the valve and RFP tube. Place the waste collection jar back under the valve. Dispense 1000 microliters of the column equilibration buffer CAV solution into the chromatography column. Next, open the column and allow liquid to drain into the waste container. Close the valve when the liquid is just above the resin bed. Repeat 3 times before storing the column away. That's all for today. Thank you. Thank you for watching.